Hello fellas, welcome back. We're off to SES. We're going to see Jim Gibbs. Now, SES, if you don't know, is probably, or arguably, the best Cosworth engine builder ever. They've built some of the best engines in the game. And to be honest, we're just going to, I want to go down, I want to have a look about and see what they get up to. So honestly, I'm really looking forward to this. So I'll catch up with you when we get there. Hello fellas, welcome back. I'm here to see Jim. We came to the legendary Cosworth tuner SES. Have a look around, mate. See,
yeah, of course, yeah.
See a bit of what you get up to.
Yeah, show you around.
Can we start with this, or?
Of course, yeah.
Sapphire Cosworth?
Yep, so 4x4, Sapphire Cosy. Just in for an engine rebuild.
Right. Standard engine rebuild?
Pretty much standard engine build, yeah. We'll do like long studs and a WRC gasket, just for, you know, sort of make it a bit more bulletproof. And if you did want power down the line, you can. But yeah, that's as exciting as that one gets. So
what's this one in for, Jim?
That one's a straightforward map. It's on an old level 8 injector ECU, so it'll be sort of 480, 500 horsepower. It's on a T4, 8 greens, so we'll just do a road map on that.
Bit of a lively car.
Yeah, it should be quite sharp. 2-wheel drive, obviously. Yeah, I'm sure it'll go pretty well. Cool. Just this time of year, it gets interesting with the mapping, with the wet weather.
With the wet weather. So this, Jim, we've just been out on this. I'm going to do a separate video on this. This is obviously an Escort Cosworth.
Yep.
600-ish brake horsepower.
Give just over 600 on the dyno.
Sequential gearbox.
6-speed sequential gearbox, yeah.
Nice EAPs on it. And
yeah. It's a lovely
really nice
car. Yeah, obviously you got your video go in depth, but it's a nice car. And it does go well.
Like I said on the video, if I win the lottery, I'll be back down to pick that up.
We might be arguing over it.
So this is pretty cool, Jim.
Yeah.
Mark II Escort.
Mark II Escort. YB turbo in the front of it. We haven't decided what sort of power level we're going to go with it yet, but it's in for a rebuild, up spec, and an engine management change as well.
Right. So what turbo is on it?
It's on a Gen 2 Garrett GT30.
Right.
Or GTX 30. We're probably going to change that for something a bit smaller because I don't think it needs 550 horsepower.
Pretty lively, 500 odd brake horsepower in a Mark II Escort, I bet.
Definitely, yeah. And I think with the cooling capacity that we have in the front, I think sort of 450, 480 would be plenty for it.
But nice though, I like the carbon bonnet.
Yeah, it is a lovely build, to be fair. The cage work inside, the interior is a nice build.
So this is a pretty cool car, Jim.
Yeah.
Porsche turbo.
A little bit different for us. Yeah, so it's a 3-litre 16 valve, originally an 8-valve turbo car. But we put a 16-valve cylinder head on it. This is actually our engine builder's, so he wanted to do something a bit different. It ended up at 620 brake horsepower. We did see nearly 700 from it, but he wanted a bit more response for the road, so he come down a size on the turbo and the exhaust housing, and it's absolutely lovely. Being 3-litre, it's not like a Cosy, it kind of pulls from nothing, and it's got a lovely flat torque curve.
Has it?
It's on the same management system as the Escort, which I think we mentioned, which is the Pectel system, so it's nicely mapped, it's nice and drivable.
Nice and clean as well, mate. It's a
very clean car, yeah. He's actually done underside restoration on it. Done all the brakes throughout, and yeah, it's a lovely car.
Has he just sold it, was he saying?
He has, yeah. He's actually just sold it. He's had it for probably 7 or 8 years now, I think, and all just done loads of work on it and just doesn't use it, I suppose, similar to us Cosy owners.
I like the wheels as well.
Yeah, so GT3 wheels.
Oh, that's 996?
996 GT3.
Nice.
Or is it 7? Don't quote me on that. But yeah, I'm not good with Porsche. But yeah, 10-inch wheels all round with a 265 Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2. Nice. And it puts the power down fantastic as well. For 2-wheel drive, it's really impressive. Yeah, very impressive.
It's clean as well underneath, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
It is nice. It's a shame it's sold. I would like to go out on that.
Yeah, to be fair, you haven't got the weather for it today, but...
Aye. So, Jim, this is your brother's car, Ryan's?
Yep, young Ryan's car. He's owned this for 10 years.
Has he?
It's been sat in the garage for 10 years, yeah.
Never moved in 10 years?
Never moved, no.
He's never driven it?
Nope, never driven it. No, he bought it with the engine in bits, but it was just quite a nice car and sensible money. And he thought, I'll get it out of the garage about 6 months ago, and we've done a full brand new build for it on the engine. New clutch, new brakes, wheels, tyres, and just gone through it really, just to make it a nice car.
So was it just a bit of a jigsaw when he got it?
Yeah, I mean it was all pretty much there. The engine was in bits. I think it was sort of 400 or 500 horsepower back in the day, and then it was in bits for whatever reason, and Ryan ended up buying it. So
can I ask what he paid for it?
I think he gave a couple of grand for it.
10 years ago though?
10 years ago, yeah.
So he's a kind of investment?
Yeah, good investment, yeah.
Everyone says these are the best driving Cosworths, the two-wheel drive Sapphires.
I believe so, yeah. I mean, I've driven plenty of them, from four-wheel drive Escorts to two-wheel drive Escorts that have been converted. And two-wheel drive Saph, for me, I always feel like they just glide along. They just really just ride the road nicely.
That's the one car I've never driven a Saph.
Is it really? Yeah, no, they're really nice, really nice.
I would love a white one with the orange indicators.
Amber's on white. Yeah,
I think I'll put TSW Hockenheim's on.
Yeah,
just old school.
Lovely, yeah.
Some APs behind.
Yeah, pretty much the same spec as mine. White with ambers. Yeah, beautiful.
Can we have a look at some of your engine building and engine room?
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is like your bread and butter type stuff, isn't it, Jim? Like your engine builds?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. So any of our engine builds that we do in-house, we'll always run on the dyno. It obviously allows us to run them in so that when the customer gets them, they don't have to go through the running in procedure on the road.
Right.
We can also do all the development. We do a lot of stuff with like cam timing. It affects the power bands massively. So we'll do all that on here. We'll do run-through tests and sweep tests on the dyno. And that shows us different response levels, different torque levels, power levels, and yeah, we sort of get the best package from our engines, from what we want.
If you built a new engine,
yep,
people say to run them for 1,000 miles, don't they?
Yeah, that's sort of like an old sort of rule of thumb, yeah.
Do you still kind of do that on here?
Yeah, we'll give them sort of 5, 6, 7 hours of running in a day, yeah. And then what we'll start doing, obviously I've got a couple of different software levels here open. I've got Pectel and I've got some Life Racing there. We'll start mapping them, and we'll start with the low end, so all the sort of cruise stuff and the light boost stuff, so that sort of adds to the running in procedure as well.
Right.
So we'll do a couple of hours of that as well, and by that time they're ready for some boost.
Cool. Can we start this one up? Is it possible?
Yeah, absolutely. This one is on a fresh map, so
that running there.
Yeah,
it's pretty quiet, isn't it? Now with that.
Yeah,
that running.
To be fair, this is a triple laminated glass, so you've got 3 layers of glass.
Oh, right.
You've got the sealed doors, so yeah, it's not too bad. If you get a normal aspirated engine on there, they're a lot louder. You've got the induction noise. So yeah, I think the Metro 6R4s that we used to develop many years ago, there's a farmer about 2 miles from here, and he come round. So what is that you're running? And yeah, Dad was like, it's a Metro 6R4. So I can hear that in Marham, which is 2 miles away. So yeah, so you do get some loud ones, but the turbo stuff's not too bad.
So how do you do your throttle from here?
So throttle controls here. We have an RPM control here, so you can have any RPM you want to set it at. And if I just put the water on there, so it's a water brake dyno, so it uses water to hold the load on the engine.
Right.
So as you come up on the revs, whatever you set it to, 2000 RPM, it will sit it on that RPM level.
Oil pressure there, boost.
Yep, so oil pressure boost, yeah, fueling.
Engine torque.
Yep, torque, brake horsepower on the right. And then a few other sensors like exhaust back pressure, fuel pressure, coolant pressure in the coolant tank, oil temperatures, air in the cell, and there's multiple screens as well which I can flick through. So you've got loads of monitoring inputs there, and the dyno is fantastic. It's pretty much as you want to put into it, it will take it. So if you want to run 4 EGT sensors in the exhaust manifold for doing engine development, you can put 4 sensors into the dyno. You can be monitoring that, multiple levels of lambda channels as well.
Is it limited on power, the dyno? Can it take like a certain amount of...
So it will hold 1,000 pounds-feet of torque and 16,000 RPM. So it will hold big power.
Pretty much anything?
Yeah.
What user building?
Yeah, obviously we've got some big stuff next door which we'll go through, but it should hold that no problem at all.
So what power's that engine in there?
So this one, I think this is a customer's engine, so we're doing the map on this. So we'll run it in as it's a fresh engine for him. We'll do a full map, and then it'll go back to him, and we'll do a in-car check as well. But we're looking for around 700 horsepower and around 600 pounds-feet of torque, as it's a 2.3 litre.
And what's it going into?
It's going in a 3-door.
Is it?
With a 6-piece sequential box. And
nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Be good. Yeah.
Can we go in there and have a look?
Of course. Yeah.
Can we?
Yeah, 100%.
So this is a pretty big spec engine, Jim?
Yeah, Yeah, so I put an update on this one just because I think it's quite an interesting one. People could guess some power figures based off what it looked like.
Is that on your Facebook page?
Sorry, yeah, this was on our Facebook page, and I'm going to put some updates along the way because it's an interesting one, even for me to do. To be honest, it's sort of out the realms of what we've done with a YB. It's definitely going to be our biggest power one so far, and it's going into a really cool car as well. So,
what's it going into?
It's going into a II Escort Cosworth. But it's having all custom transmission, custom suspension brakes. It's going to be a lovely build.
Proper trick bit of kit.
Yeah, and the company building it build a beautiful car as well. So yeah, it'll be one to keep an eye out for.
So a bit about the engine then. What turbo?
Yeah, so it's a Garrett G series. It's a Garrett G series 42-1200C. So it's good for sort of 1200 brake horsepower. It's a
big old turbo, isn't it?
It is a big turbo. I think it weighs 12 kilos.
Does it?
Yeah. It's just going to be over 2.3 litre. Obviously everything internal is just custom to our own specs, compression ratios, valve sizes and ports and stuff like that. It's on a Smith & Jones head and cylinder block as well.
Aluminium block?
Which is an aluminium block, yeah. We've been using these for a while and developed them with Will at Smith & Jones, and they're absolutely fantastic. Great company to deal with, beautiful machine work. And yeah, just a pleasure to deal with, to be honest.
I've only heard good things about them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Nice rotor cover as well. Was this MT Motorsport we see him?
Marker MT, he makes those for us.
Looks cool, that man.
Yeah, really cool, really trick.
Nice the oil cap as well.
Yeah, and nice for the customer, sort of the branding in there as well. It's just a nice, neat little touch.
Ah, super cool, super cool. Very nice.
Yeah, so
do you do the welding on the exhaust and stuff like that?
No, so that was custom made for us. It was made by a company called OJZ Engineering.
Right.
Guy's called Lance. He's a really nice guy, and it's an absolute work of art.
I was going to say it's a work of art.
It is beautiful. You'll notice,
the engine's a work of art.
Yeah, the whole thing has come out just stunning. To be fair, you'll notice the slip joints there on the manifold. So here, number 4 and number 1, we run a slip joint. It's just to help in longevity with stainless steel. They do crack.
Right. Is that literally just so the exhaust can slide?
Just so it can move. Yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
But obviously it'll not blow.
No. It's like a double slip joint, so internal and an external. So
right.
It's nice.
So what kind of boost will this run? Maximum?
Well, we're not sure yet. Obviously, we've got a power target in mind.
Right. Can you tell us the power target?
Yeah, I'd like to see over 1,000.
Right.
1,050 would be nice. That's sort of like where I've got in mind. It does depend what boost we're going to need to run. It'll probably be around the 2.5 bar to 2.7 bar region. So maybe around 36 to 40 psi.
And what kind of torque do you think it'll get?
We're probably going to limit the torque, to be honest.
Plus the gearboxes and diffs?
Yeah, it's having full custom transmission done by Sadev.
Right.
Which are going to be probably rated at about 650 to 700 pounds-feet. I think the engine's capable of 700 pounds-feet of torque, no problem. Obviously these figures are all on race fuel as well. We'll be using some nice fuel. So I think, yeah, anything over 1,000 horsepower and sort of 700 foot-pounds of torque, that'll be about where we cap it.
Wouldn't mind a passenger ride in that, mine.
Yeah.
I wouldn't fancy driving it.
No,
I'd be too scared to drive it.
Yeah.
I'd like a passenger ride. Ah, very nice. Can we have a look at another engine?
Yeah.
So this is a bit different, Jim, and that's any YB?
Yes, so this is a bit of a strange engine, really. When the RS500 touring cars were outdated, they changed the regulations to normally aspirated in the touring cars.
Right.
There was, no, you don't have to, won't quote me on this, but there was Trackstar, who ran the Sapphires, normally aspirated, and there was Graham Good, who ran a 3-door. And this engine was from Graham Good's 3-door. Which is being built by Marker MT, and this is the engine out of it, and we've had it on the dyno, and we're just doing a little bit of development on cams to try and extract a little bit more power from it to make it closer to period power, but also with just pure reliability in mind.
What would period power be on this?
So period power, they claimed around the 290s, up to 300 I believe. This is currently at about 250,
right.
But I think it's restricted on the cam, so we're going to put some slightly bigger cams in. I think if it was 270 horsepower and reliable, keep the revs sensible, that's exactly where we'd like to be with it.
What do you think of rev 2 then?
Well, period revs are 8,600 RPM.
Oh, screaming.
Yeah, so it makes a nice noise.
I bet it does.
Yeah.
I bet it does. Dry sump as well?
Yeah, all dry sumped.
So what's this one then, Jim?
And the last one, that's...
T4 Turbo?
T4 Turbo, 8 greens and RS500 touring car. So it's quite a nice engine, that one. It's sort of like our flagship touring car engine, I suppose. That's the engine that won the Silverstone Classic this year.
Right.
With driver Mark Wright and Dave Coyne. Two really good drivers. Mark builds his own cars and runs his own cars, and we do the engine and the electronic side of things for him. He's a really good driver, really nice guy. And yeah, it was good to see them go out and win the Classic this year.
If someone wanted an engine rebuild, do you do like a standard engine as well? You don't just do...
It's not all just big power stuff. We've actually recently been doing quite a lot of standard rebuilds. I suppose with the Cosworth market, how it's been, and people...
The value's going up.
The value's going up, and people wanting more standard cars. We've been getting them in for just totally standard rebuilds. Yeah, just to make them look presentable. So we'll do all the aqua blasting on the aluminium, so everything looks like new.
Do you do that in-house as well?
We do that in-house, yeah. And then, yeah, just put it all back to standard spec, really.
So how much would like a standard engine rebuild be?
It depends entirely on what they sort of come in as. If they come in as a nice engine and don't need too much, it's not really horrendous. You can
Is it not?
No, not really.
Some shells,
maybe a few £1,000, something like that. But yeah, just the basics. But obviously, if they start needing crankshafts and cylinder heads and stuff like that, they're old engines now, so it's not uncommon to see, and it can obviously spiral from there, really.
If someone brought a running driving car, would you take the engine out for them? And
yeah, that's what we do. Obviously, you saw the workshop with the cars out there. A lot of those are running cars that we'll take in and put on the ramp, engine out, and we'll do the whole process start to finish. So we'll
turnkey thing, just
literally turnkey. Yeah, yeah.
That's it, fellas. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more of what SCS is up to, got a Facebook page, mate, where you post most of your stuff.
Yep, Facebook page Supreme Car Services. We'll do little updates on the big engines and stuff. So come have a look.
I'll leave a link below to that, fellas. But yeah, again, Jim, thanks for having us down.
Much appreciated.
Thanks for watching, fellas, and I'll catch you on the next one. Spot on, mate. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Awesome.